Hey, good morning, everybody. Been a few days since I've been able to be with you here. I'm sitting outside of our hotel here in uh, close to the French Quarter, not in the French Quarter, but actually on the riverfront here in New Orleans, and sitting in the quiet of the morning until things really get moving here outside of the hotel. Um, I won't say it's pleasant, but for New Orleans, it's a pretty pleasant morning, and it's a good time to just come out and there's nobody else around. Occasionally, somebody walks by on the sidewalk, but it's just kind of nice to sit here and experience a little peace and have a good cup of coffee. Our mass event last night that took place over at the Superdome obviously featured normal the normal night's programming, which features a professor from Concordia St. Paul, the Minnesota North District President, and a poet. And they do a great job of hosting and being the masters of ceremony. And this whole conference that we've been on is about endurance and how we are in the race for the long haul and not just for the quick turnarounds. But last night, one of the things that struck me, aside from Flame, if you've seen my post about Flame, I'm not a I'm not a rap aficionado and I don't listen to it, to be honest. Um, but I stayed last night for Flame's concert. It was an hour long, and I was really entertained and I really enjoyed it. I mentioned in my Facebook post last night that I really couldn't understand any of it, but it was amazing how the kids were engaged, and I was actually very surprised about how many kids knew the words and would rap along with him, and that includes some of our kids in southeast Nebraska. So, but I wanted to kind of focus on today one of the little parts of the presentation last night that focused on things that distract us and things that lead us astray and things that want to take us away from the Lord, which amazing how God's Word works is kind of part of what today's devotion is all about. So I'm going to see if I can switch screen. I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. It said, "You're waiting for me." So here's the gist of it. Luke 10 is the story of Mary and Martha, and how Martha is so busy at good chores, really. She had a guest, a very important guest in her home, and she wanted to make sure that he was well cared for. So we can't fault Martha for scurrying about the house, making sure that things were just so. But Mary sat at Jesus' feet. And of course, we know Mary was a little upset with Martha, or Martha was a little upset with Mary for not helping her get the house ready. And Jesus really, in essence, said, Mary or Martha, there are things that are distracting you that aren't important. Come, pay attention to what is important. And last night's skits were of a variety of people. It was a silhouette skit, done very well, and it was about the things that distracted people. And of course, there are many things. There are addictions that distract us. There are activities that distract us. There are relationships that distract us. And when I say distract us, I don't mean just take our attention away for a moment. I'm talking about taking our attention away from Jesus. And sometimes as a pastor, when I prepare a sermon, I feel like I'm kind of beating a dead horse. I feel like I'm saying things over and over again, and I wonder if anybody's picking up on these things, or maybe I just haven't done a good job of making the point. But I know that I've said, I mean, maybe you guys will tell me too often. I hope not. But that we need to shed the things that distract us. We need to turn our back on those things that lead us away from God, and I name them. And it's like the things that distract us are, honestly, I see are the activities that we have our children in as being so distracting, taking us away from Sunday worship and fellowship. Um, I see, and it isn't just kids; it's their parents, of course. You got to take the kids there, right? I see it in grandparents. I see it in extended family members. The one thing that's important is Jesus, and anything that stands in the way is a distraction. And of course, Satan loves distractions, right? Why did he come into the garden in the form of a serpent, and why did he say, are you sure? Distracting Eve's mind of what God had really told her, and instead made her begin to question those things and sowing the seeds of doubt. The things that take us away from God, these distractions, are seemingly innocuous, and they are valuable things. Just like Martha preparing the house was a valuable thing. Our distractions are valuable things. I'm not saying they're not. We know that organized sports help kids learn discipline and training and things like that. All good. But they become not good when they stand in the way. And I don't just want to pick on sports. That's not the only thing, of course. There are other things. Even our family can be distractions for us when they lead us away from the Lord. And I don't mean somebody who's out and out just rebellious against the Lord. I'm talking about all of the family activities that we have. To hear somebody else say that message last night was, for me as a pastor, was encouraging to help me remember that the words that I preach on Sunday morning are not my words. They are words that the Lord has given me, words from the Lord Himself, and so it's good. It's an encouragement for me to keep reminding people of what's important. And of course, we talk about bringing people Jesus and leaving people with Jesus when we preach. And that's exactly the goal. I want to remind you of why you need Jesus, though, and that's bringing the law. So anyway, probably long-winded because I don't have a lot of structure here to the message. But those are my thoughts after last night's mass event and what took place. I've worshiped with hundreds of people, I've worshiped with thousands of women at the LWML convention. I've done that today and before. Also worshiped with men at pastors' conferences, worshiped in big, large crowds with teachers at teachers' conventions, but I've never experienced worshiping with 20,000 youth. And it is a different experience, and it's an exhilarating experience, a wonderful experience. And so I'm appreciative of the opportunity to be here. Not to say that getting to bed at midnight or after every night has been easy, or being up early for sermon events has not been easy, but it's so far on this Monday, about halfway through the event, I can say that I am surviving, and I'm very much enjoying it and being blessed by the Lord. I hope you're being blessed by the Lord, and I wish you His peace today on this Monday, July 21st, 2025.